I think everyone is a leader in some sense, but organizational leaders have a very special impact because of the nature of the business, the nature of any organization, in that they have specific avenues of influence that target the people, their direct reports, and rippling outward. So a top leader has enormous influence. That is a leader at the top of an organization. In a digital age, a top leader doesn't need to have digital savvy. A top leader needs to know how to hire people who have that, how to guide them, how to inspire them, how to motivate them, how to direct them. In other words, I think that the elements of leadership haven't changed much in a digital age. But what a leader needs to do is pay attention to the expertise they need to have in their organization and bring in the right people. Leadership, like emotional intelligence, is learned and learnable. I've just started a coaching and training program in emotional intelligence because I think there are certain universals of learning and of mastery, of expertise for a leader that aren't necessarily easily found. So I'm trying to offer them to the world, really. And one of them is understanding your own strengths and limits. And then once you get a good diagnostic of that, determining where you could improve your impact by notching up a particular set of skills. Often, for example, it's empathy. It's the sense of, or the ability to tune into other people, to read them, and to then use that in communicating or in inspiring or motivating, which are the real tasks of leadership. I think the key to a high-performance team is understanding, for one, that emotional intelligence operates at the team level. There's group EI, group emotional intelligence. And one of the particulars of this is that groups, high-performing groups, have norms, have unstated ways of operating together that make them high-performing. One is that everyone on the team knows who's good at what, and they can shift people around accordingly. Another is that they feel free to surface tensions before they explode in some big problem. Another is enjoying being together, having a good time together. Because group harmony turns out to be the biggest determinant of how well each person on that team can contribute their best talent at its top level. So a leader of a team can get best performance out of that group by being very intentional in setting norms. A leader can help set the norm. I was talking to the head of a huge national lab. He said, we have a norm here. Nobody knows who started it, but everybody follows it. It's this. Whenever someone suggests a new idea, the next person who speaks has to support that idea. He says it's very easy to be a devil's advocate and to kill a new idea. It's much more important to support it, to see if it's going to fly. And that's a good example of a norm that helps a team. You know, there's a phrase from the world of workshops and HR, spray and pray, where you send people to an offsite for a day or two and you spray on them the new method, the new idea, the new whatever, and then you pray it's going to stick. And the data shows that there's a half-life to that kind of learning. That's why in our emotional intelligence training, for example, we sustain it over several months because it's very important from a neural point of view that you strengthen the new circuitry for a new behavior to the point where it becomes the way you do it naturally. It's technically the default circuitry in the brain. You're shifting that. And it doesn't happen in a weekend. It takes sustained practice. You know, I think there are two main categories of leadership problems in the emotional intelligence area. One is some deficit in self-awareness, which means that leaders aren't very good at controlling or managing their own emotions. And that's one category of problem. The other is a lack of empathy, not tuning into the people that either they're managing or directing, or the people they're selling to, or their peers, or their investors. I think that a leader needs a kind of 360-degree empathy, the ability to sense how each of those different stakeholders is reacting, and then the relationship management skills to manage well each one of those groups.